Alright guys, welcome to a cool video here on my channel. I am helping testing, curating, debating back and forth what should be in the next iteration of the Vintage Cube. And when this will be uploaded, the choice has already been made about different new additions. Mainly some Modern Horizons 3 cards, like this Reckless Pyro Surfer. With that being said, in this pack, it's pretty clear source to plowshares. I don't even know what I would pick if that wasn't here. Maybe something like Spellseeker wouldn't be all that bad. But yeah, source to plowshares, great first pick. So, what do we have here? We have Fiery Confluence, we have Tinker. This is probably just a spot to take Tinker, to be honest. Seems like a good idea. Taking Tinker early lets me draft around it. I know I need a big artifact. I know I need at least 4 small artifacts. And yeah, that's kind of the name of the game. Fiery Confluence is also extremely strong. Yeah, let's add Tinker to the mix. Next up, we have some cool stuff here like Memory Lapse, but I'm going to take this Flooded Strand, mainly because I have a good white card and a good blue card, and I want to cast them both. If this was a blue-white talisman, it would actually be a conversation. But I am going to take the Flooded Strand for now. It lets me cast 2 Premier cards, so pretty darn strong. Let's read this Eldrazi. 3 mana, 1/3. When you cast the removal counters from single permanent. Oh. Okay, so it's like kill a planeswalker, do something cool. Okay, fair enough. I guess there's some combos with it, like Merit Lage or something. Passing up on Delighted Halfling, Volcanic Island, Memory Lapse, Time Twister. Not expecting to see a ton of relevant stuff on the wheel. Could be the Talisman. That would actually be pretty darn cool. Okay. So yeah, if anybody's wondering, we're drafting on Draftmancer. You might have seen it on the LSV videos. It's basically a third-party website that lets you draft, and then afterwards we can import the decks to Magic Online and get to business. Speaking about business, nice Fanatic of Ronas from MH3. We have an Arena of Glory here from MH3. And we have a Sneeze here from Allergy. I should probably take Palantir. Not the strongest pick. Maybe it's Breeding Pool. Breeding Pool opens up some stuff. Imperial Seal opens up some stuff. Maybe that's better than taking like a mediocre artifact. Oh, sorry guys. Breeding Pool or Seal? Breeding Pool or Seal? Okay, I'll try and take Breeding Pool. Let's see if that pays off. Not the most exciting. I could take Wandering Emperor and go into more like a traditional controlling deck. Let's say I take the Imperial Seal before, then maybe I can take the Savai Triome here, and then I can cast it with my Flooded Strand, but no such luck. Okay, I can take Emperor here. I don't mind that. The thing about Emperor is it's a double white card, so my mana base would need to be kind of, built to support that, like blue-white control with still supporting Tinker, hopefully. Here's a nice Shelldog Isle. I like that card. Also, I'll have to remember that I picked a Breeding Pool, so I have some, green mana available. But yeah, Shelldog Isle is a good addition to, well, I would say almost any blue deck. Lots of graveyard stuff here in this cube. We have Anger here. We have some land stuff with the Grazer. We have Watley, which is like just a medium green card. And what do we have here? Okay, here's Teferi. So blue-white as a color combination seems like the place to be. It's always nice when you can take the best card out of the pack. That's kind of a good signal. It's a good way to think about it. If you're taking the best card out of the pack, let's just imagine this was a first pick, then you're usually in a decent seat. So let's take that. These cards. Oh, blue-white talisman. Oh, yeah. I can't recognize the artwork on these. I don't even know if it's like a promo or whatever. But yeah, Talisman of Progress. Perfectly fine card here. It helps with the, some of the Tinker stuff. Let's take that. I do wield some interesting stuff here. Spellseeker gets Plow for now. I could also take Mind Stone, which helps power out 4s and 5s and helps Tinker. But I think I'm supposed to draft Spellseeker here for upside. Do I like Relic? Not really, but I mean, it's probably decent. Subtlety's probably better. Like, I have some Planeswalkers. It's nice to have free interaction. I missed that the first time around, so let's take Subtlety. It looks like blue-white is fairly open. Then I have this green splash. I'll put it here so I remember it. The green splash right now is something like Oko, Infestation, maybe something like Tireless Tracker. Not quite sure, because Tireless Tracker makes clues. Clues are artifacts. I have a Tinker, etc. So maybe, just maybe. What are the cheap artifacts am I on the lookout for? Obviously, Mox, Mana, Crypt, Soul Ring, stuff like that. That kind of goes without saying. But other than that, it's like Currency Converter, Retrofitter Foundry. You know, just solid cards. Also, if I can, I want to work on my mana, Tundra, Hallowed Fountain, Celestial Colonnade, stuff like that. Cheap counters, Leak, Miscalculation, Counterspell, Drain. The forces are awesome. But let's see if all of that is possible. I do wield a Talisman. I actually think I'm going to take it here over Otawara. Kind of a good option to have, but it's also kind of cool. It's a green one. So now I have 3 green sources, Flooded Strand, Fetchland, and Talisman. Imperial Seal wield here, but funnily enough, I'm not going to take it. Now I'm going to spec on the Draw 7, which could come in handy in case I have, like, Hull Breacher, Narset, stuff like that. Here's Thought Scour that I'm not sure I'm playing. Let's just put it in the sideboard. These cards don't matter. All right. So, decent first pack. I have Tinker, I have Plow, I have Teferi, and I have some good lands. Let's see if we can get on the board with some power. We don't get on the board with power, but we have Urza, Counterspell, and Oko. So, darn good pick here. Which one is better? It's probably going to be... That's actually a good one. So actually, I already have good 4s and 5s. So maybe I just take cheap interaction. It's kind of sad. I'm passing Oko and Urza. I'm just going to take the Counterspell and not worry too much about it. So I'm on the lookout for Portal. What else? I guess Portal is just the best one. It's like turns Tinker into an insane Wrath of God. Yeah, passing Oko and Urza there is kind of sad because I've set myself up to play those cards, but they're in the same pack, so most likely never going to come back. So here it's a pretty clear Force of Will. I don't even know what I'm taking it over. I mean, Control is not a very good strip mine deck in my opinion. Maybe I could play something like Thraben. It's also a cheap artifact, worth noting. The clue is quite good for that. But yeah, Force of Will, very, very good pickup. Maybe I can wheel Staff of the Storyteller. That card is good with, you know, a little bit of Wandering Emperor here, a little bit of Monastery Mentor there, and all of a sudden you can maybe draw some cards with the Staff. If you're a bit more proactive and you can slam threats back to back, Ancient Tomb is awesome. Yeah, that pack wasn't the best. So here I can choose to pick up Blightsteel, which is a good Tinker target if I don't find Portal. Also, I have Counterspell and Force of Will in my deck, so this is going to get the job done more often in this deck compared to other decks. Generally, Blightsteel is not insane or anything, but it's fine. Jace is cool. Other than that, it's like Grim Monolith. So yeah, I guess I just take my Tinker target. I love Orcus Lumberjack and Red Green Beats. Also, I think it's possible that I can have like one more Tinker target. That wouldn't be the end of the world. Wouldn't be perfect either, but That's how it is. I also want some more stuff for Spellseeker. Right now I can go get Plow or Counterspell. Preferably I could like, Preordain or something under Brainstorm. Also, I'm still looking for blue-white fixing. I'm pretty confident I'm gonna get it though, because I got to Fairy pretty late. So I think it's just a matter of, it's showing up. Here I'll take Spell Pierce. Cheap interaction is awesome. And I'm even taking it out of a pack where, let's say I didn't take the Blightsteel, then I would have a tough choice with Bolas' Citadel, but I'm actually quite happy I can just take the Spell Pierce without sweating it too much. A lot of red cards here. Yeah, so far it's like, maybe pretty average. Nothing to get crazy excited about, but yeah, it's definitely a solid start as we approach the half-minute mark. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of one of the choices I was hoping to not get, like the Portal, which is obviously going to be insane with Tinker, but there's also Reprieve, which is super solid. Maybe I just take the Portal and shut up here. Glimmer Lens is also cool, but it looks like I'm a bit more controlling. So basically, now I'll have Portal for coming back into the game, and I'll have Blightsteel to be the aggressor. So here it's Narset versus Stern Scolding, which is a closer pick than you might think. I'm kind of a big Stern Scolding fan. Also, it looks like my deck has some sequences where I go, turn 2 Talisman, Scolding, my opponent's play, and then I get ahead on board. Narset is also decent, though. I'll take the Stern Scolding. Narset is fine. Okay, so what is this? This could be a decent balance deck. I have some artifacts. I have some walkers. Okay. Spellseeker and balance is kind of a non-bow. But I'll take it. It can do some good things. Ooh, this is gonna be a painful one. Normalize, super solid 2-mana counter in blue-white versus Cryptic Command. Good old Cryptic Command. I'm actually gonna take the cheap one. That's sad. And what do we have here? We have a Talisman that I am gonna play, unless yeah, let's just make that Tinker work, period. And it's good with balance, so let's do it. The Raven is not good with balance, but it's just a solid card, and it kind of solidifies my Tinker. Now I have 4 cheap artifacts. So with Blightsteel in the deck, I would love something like Jace Prodigy. What else are like good looters? I guess that's just the best one because it can flip into a walker. More 4-mana walkers. So my deck is trying to be turn 2 Talisman, turn 3 4 drop that kind of can spiral. Maybe that's playable. Walkers and artifacts are good with balance. So I had a few options that pack. These cards don't do anything for my deck. Maybe I can take the Boseiju in case I end up actually splashing the green. I don't believe in Citadel or Jewel here. I think it's unlikely I end up in some Jewel combo deck. But maybe it's also unlikely I splash green, so that pick was maybe close. Okay, here I can speculate on the Tar Pit. I guess there's some... Wow. 14th pick Narset. I mean, the card has fallen a bit out of favor, but that is just very nice for me. So that tells me we have a lot of aggressive decks at the table. So what can we do about good old aggressive decks? So there's a Misty Rainforest. There's also a Headquarters. I feel like I should take the Headquarters. Because I don't have Tundra. But let's say I had Tundra. Misty would just be absurdly good, but I don't. So I can take the blue-white Tapland. Really not the best first pick. But I think I have to work on my mana. We take that over Misty. It's also a green source in case I need it, but, I mean, we don't know about that yet. There's Hull Breacher. Okay, so I guess now my draw 7 is on the menu. What else are we looking at here? Yeah, not much. So we can take Hull Breacher. We have Hull Breacher and Narset. And we can easily splash green. Time will tell if this Besieger is better than a Forest. It looks like it. But here it's most likely Daze. Daze is just super awesome. Sometimes you play it as a 2-mana counter. Sometimes you tap out and counter something. Both modes are pretty awesome. So now I have 28 cards. If I had 12 lands, yeah, it looks like I need like one more spell to fill out my deck. So there's definitely room for upgrades. I'm especially looking at Jace Wielder of Mysteries. That card doesn't look that great. But other than that, I really like my deck here. Force, Pierce, Counterspell, Daze. That's some decent stuff. Also, it's the Time Twister we saw earlier in the draft. I'm kind of surprised that um that the Narset went so late with somebody else having the Time Twister, but yeah, I don't complain. So how can we actually win the game here? A little bit of walkers, a little bit of yeah. I wouldn't mind like some way to win the game. Pest Infestation could be that card. Let's count green sources: 1, 2, 3, 4, and Talisman of Curiosity. So pretty healthy 5 green sources. Sure. Is it too late to get a Tundra? So let's see here. Duelist of the Mind. Maybe these cards aren't the best. I only have 1 red source, so Athari is not castable. But maybe it will be. I mean, these cards are bad. Maybe I just take Loran for the sideboard. At least that's going to be good. Ooh, Mana League is very strong here. I'm going to take Mana League over Temple Garden. I don't think that's... I don't think I need it compared to just having super solid 2-mana counter. These cards are not the best. Let's take Brazen... Leyline Binding. No, I can't support that. I can take it, though. Fine. So right now, if I just add lands, I'm at 15 lands. So if I cut the Jace, I'm at 16 lands with 3 Talisman. I think that's totally fine. So right now, we're looking at this as my deck. Double Tinker Target is a bit annoying, but I think that's how things has to be. And then if I play against combo, I can get rid of the portal. If I play against aggro, maybe I can get rid of the Blightsteel. But I'm starting both, I think. Let's see if we can get anything on the wheel that I forgot about. On our blue cards while we wait here. 3, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13. So decent amount of blue card, I would say. This is cube after all. It's not constructed, but it's not... It's still important to have a decent blue count in order to register that card. So here I can take green white surveil land over nothing. Sounds fine. Wow, Dak Faden and Wheel, but well, let's just take this. I can't remember if there's any red sources to get late here. Ooh, there's a red source. Okay, so this brings me to 3 red sources. Am I supposed to play all the wheels here? Let's see. Flooded Strand, Surveil Land, Talisman. That's 3. Yeah, I guess I am. We can't play any of these. Guess I don't want to play against a walker. Does this help at all? Green, black? I mean, I might as well take it, I think. But I'm not sure I play it. Mana base has to support double white. Unless, well, Suranor Balance. Is that a thing? Suranor Balance. Maybe against some decks. Okay, so right now I have... How many lands do I have over here? I have 8 lands already, 7 spots. So I have to cut 1 card. I mean, it could be the Wandering Emperor with how things are going here and double white and all. Maybe I get rid of the Wandering Emperor and play like this. Okay, I'm actually gonna try this out and add 8 basics. And yeah, this looks like a deck that I thought was blue-white control, but all of a sudden we have some wheeling and dealing going on with Narset, Hull Breacher, and Double Wheel. Okay, I'm pretty excited for this. I'll see you guys for the matches. All right, round 1 here against Chris Wolf, who's managing the cube. We're on the draw here, and this hand is fine. It's not exactly the right color of Talisman. It would have been pretty awesome if it was the white one, so I could go turn 2, Talisman, Plow, whatever. But no such luck. Now I actually have to choose if I want to hold a Plow turn 1 so I can leak turn 2. That counterspell does change things a tiny bit, but let's try this. Basic plane so I can Plow whatever, and then mana leak the next thing. So funnily enough, it does not work on that hexproof creature, so there's that. Well, Pierce is most likely a decent draw. So the way that this works is I can mana leak something, then I can develop Talisman and counterspell the next thing. Wow, the attack here. I think I'm going to take the damage and plow that card on the end step. Sakura. So it looks like my opponent, the way my opponent is playing here, it looks like they have plenty of mana. So I guess we mana leak this, and if my opponent plays out more land, we can kind of reconsider the plow. Okay, so now we can go develop Talisman, hold up counter. I think this is okay. Also considering I have Tinker Portal in the deck, there's something to be said about not necessarily spewing my Swords to Plowshares. When it's now at a bunch of mana. Soul Cauldron. Okay. Maybe my opponent has some cool combos here. I mean, for starters, sacrifice to go get a land here, which makes my plow even worse. Now the opponent can attack for 3, and if anything happens, the opponent can sacrifice to go get a land. So that's kind of cool. Maybe my opponent has some kind of combo. Maybe it's like flash damage, graveyard hates type card. Here's the Raven Inspector. Now I'm wondering what I should do. I should probably develop my green here. That plays worse if I have to counterspell something big and I wanted to sacrifice my clue, but it's good because I have some green cards in my deck and now I have developed green mana, so some sequencing stuff here for sure this game. Here's Solarian Academy, which is basically just an island right now. Here's Generous End, which is kind of an annoying card. I feel like I should just plow it. Yeah, let's plow that card. My opponent does get a food, which helps the academy, but I think that's reasonable. So I will crack my clue. Funnily enough, my Tinker plan is worse. Tinker portal, that is worse because of Soul Cauldron. This is kind of bad, but I mean, let's see. Let's see. So what I can do here is develop Talisman, play Plains, kill the 5/7, attack for 1. I'm hoping to find Hull Breacher or Narset so I can kind of 1-2 punch with the wheel. I don't think wheeling now is very strong, like giving my opponent a crap ton of cards. So here's Bristly Bill, which is very annoying. That card can do some damage. So maybe this is just where I try and empty my cards here. My opponent's trying to do some cool things with +1/+1 counters. But they did a good job of running me out of steam here. Really want to draw Tinker so I can go get Blightsteel to Fairy so I can draw out of this game. What else do we have here? Pest Infestation so I can destroy my opponent's stuff. Yeah, I have some cool stuff here. I'm gonna place another land. What does that mean? Keeping a 1, 2, 3, 5 mana. Huh. Okay. I mean, I can't pass that up. I do have to tap correctly though. So let's play Hull Breacher. The dream is that I get to Spell Pierce a Mystic Confluence. Opponent kept up 5 mana here. It's really a lot. Killing my Hull Breacher in response with a cheap card would be very bad for me. But yeah, this is obviously extremely strong. My opponent's last card was Time Warp, but they neglected to cast it. That's interesting. Maybe I would have done the same. Yeah, so now it's just a matter of how do I close out this game. I have a Force of Will. Yeah, so fetch, put Island into play, play to Fairy. Draw a card. Right now, I actually don't care about the Hull Breacher. I can easily see myself just blocking here. I guess it's not that smart to block. My opponent has the Bristly Bill. Let's see. Untap Headquarters. Oh, here comes the activation. Okay, that's cool. Double the +1 counters. Sure. Pass. I'll have to restart it during sideboarding. I kind of have to play this game out. Sensei's Divining Top. Sure. I can cast Portal to Phyrexia next turn. Maybe that's fine. Also, I can put away the Druid if I want to. Block. Keep that card alive. Do I want to sack a treasure to draw a card off Proving Grounds? No, I don't think so. Let's see. What can I draw? Sail into the West, which doesn't help a lot right now because it's a May ability. So what can I do here? I can, if I get rid of the Soul Cauldron, I play Portal. Maybe that's pretty decent. Get that one out of there. Let's see if my opponent exiles the Thraben in response, which would be the correct play, I guess. 6, 7, 8. So now I go Portal 9. And I play my Surveillant. Or I shock myself with Breeding Pool. No, I think this is fine. Hardcast Subtlety was a concern there. Yeah, I don't want that counterspell. I'll get in for 3. Pass. Now the opponent will find their best card, which is most likely going to be the Soul Cauldron, to try and control the graveyard. And I'm going to force a will, pitch Sail into the West. And then I'm going to start reanimating with Portal. Looking with top here is not going to be the best play in the world, seeing that I have Hull Breacher. And the game's over. All right, I'm going to stop the recording and restart, and then we go again. All right, let's see what's going on with these connection issues. I have kept a reasonable 7. My opponent went down to 6. I don't ignoble this. Not really part of my plan, though. Okay. A basic island is actually good draw because I have to shock myself with Breeding Pool. Yeah, I don't like that. Speculating. So must be a tap land. My opponent would have otherwise missed damage. So now what? Daze is pretty darn cool. I shock myself here to hold up Hardcast Daze or Counterspell. My opponent knows about that, but I think that's totally fine. That card is annoying. Let's Counterspell it. Hopefully this Daze is reasonable later. Looks like my opponent just attacks for 2. Pass the turn. Subtlety. Not my favorite draw right now. So I'm basically hoping to use Daze and Daze Pure Subtlety to not die, and then hopefully set up Hull Breacher plus draw 7. It is very likely though that it's only gonna it's only gonna be the Sail into the West, which means the opponent can choose to not get totally destroyed, where the wheel just destroys the opponent. Generous End gets cycled. I guess my opponent is trying to play a 5-drop here. Otherwise, it doesn't make much sense, right? If I get to Daze a Golas, one of the absolute best things I can imagine here. I have a bunch of cards in hand, so land here would be insane. Wow. Wow. I can really do it to my opponent here if... Yeah, this is just absurd. So now I can go Subtlety, pitch Sail into the West, put Tameo away. Then I can Hull Breacher wheel because I found the red source. This is absurd. Let's see what my opponent's last card is. Yeah, sure. Here's a land, but I actually think I want to wheel into it like an untapped land. That's just going to be better. My opponent has a Tameo on top of the deck, I believe. Wow, these cards are quite terrible. The only thing that's, let's see, one, two. Probably GG's, but I'll let you have some fun. Yeah, let's see about that. So let's see. I have 7 treasures. If I play a land, I can portal my opponent. My opponent can play Tameo, return one of the creatures. Maybe it's just good to portal my opponent here. Let's see. Let's portal. Opponent sacrifices a board. I attack for 3. Now it's limited what the Tameo can do. I can bring in stuff. So let's see. Portal. Get rid of those 2 dudes. Then I can start reanimating Golas, Generous End, etc. All right, that'll do it for round 1. We just kind of did it to our opponent. Let's see what the next one has in store for us. All right, round 2 here. I'm on the draw. I've kept a mediocre hand that can hopefully play Magic. Let's see. Okay, Breeding Pool is not a bad draw. This makes me want to go turn 1 Shelldock, turn 2 Shock for Breeding Pool, hold up Counterspell, or at least have that option. Taking an X spell on Shelldock Isle is quite bad, so I'm going to have to settle for a Mana Leak. Could be a fast matchup. Okay, my opponent plays a 3-1. That's acceptable. Because now I can go hold up counter. Actually, without shocking myself, hold up counter, the next turn go either Spellseeker or Thraben. Let's say my opponent does not play into this. I can just play Thraben, hold up counter. Thraben is threatening to trade with the adversary. Okay, my card is awesome. Red White Fury. No, Uro, sorry, not Fury. I want to play that card in Constructed. Maybe I should just do that at the PT. Talisman is a good one. Ramping or trading? I think I want to trade here. So I'm holding up Counterspell. I can trade off my opponent's creature. Hopefully, the mid to late game will favor me. Here's a library, just a colorless land at this point. That card is quite annoying and will be throughout the game, so I'll try and counter. This would be funny if I got punished by the reprieve I had to ship. I can't remember what I took over the reprieve, but it was probably something to do with Tinker. Countering that spell is not anything to write home about. My opponent could easily double spell this turn and punish me a bit. I can Spellseeker for a plow if the opponent gets risky here. I will trade. The opponent will then Revoker. I guess if they spoke together on the team, the Revoker can hit something. That's kind of cool. Chase the Mind Sculptor, fair enough. That would probably be one of my best cards here. Maybe I go Talisman. No, I misclicked. Ah, I wanted to tap for mana, and then I already took 2 mana. Ah, that's not good. I wanted to play Spellseeker for Pest Infestation here. Okay. So the only good thing is now I have more stuff to kill with Pest Infestation that my opponent didn't know about. But yeah, very bad play. Don't do that at home. I have to tap correctly here. So tap like this. Yeah, that must be correct. Spellseeker, Pest Infestation, tap, land, pass. So my opponent will know about Mana Leak. My opponent does not know about Normalize. I'll take the damage here down to 8. I have to think about the Flage in my opponent's graveyard. I have to think about Flage in my opponent's graveyard. Let's see. 4 mana. Okay, my opponent does not have that. Okay, that changes a little bit. My opponent could flash something in. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I shock myself and go test like this, so let's see. Pest Infestation on Shadow Spear and Revoker. I don't even think I attack here because Boros could have several hasty. Oh, I get tokens. Never mind. Okay, so we can attack here. I would be kind of sad if I have to pitch Subtlety this turn. But I think if my opponent draws Mountain or Plains, that's maybe what has to be done. Let's see. Figure of Destiny. I accept that card. How much mana do I have in play? I have 7. This is 8. Then I can go for number 9. The opponent levels the figure right away. Makes sense. I'm now 3 cards off from being able to cast a Mana Leak from Shelldock. Not really any crazy stuff. This is my mana source number 9, though. After I drew the Talisman. I can develop that while I hold up Subtlety quite strong here. Balance. This doesn't look like a good balance situation for me. Let's get rid of that card. Let's go tap, tap. Talisman of Curiosity, pass. Now if everything goes well, I can Subtlety my opponent's Flayed, that's getting cast out of the graveyard. That would mean my opponent spent their draw step drawing a land that I don't care too much about. And then I can try and stabilize by just reanimating this Flage over and over, basically, from my opponent's graveyard. That's what I'm hoping will happen. 2 mana. I guess if my opponent drew a Plains, that would be how they play. Okay, I feel like I can block with everything here. Let's block with 5 creatures, see what happens. My opponent spend all their colored mana. They can get rid of 4 of my creatures. I think I like that trade. Okay. I'm at 22 cards in the deck. Surveilling actually helped me get closer to the Mana Leak, which is really not anything to write home about, like in a deck with Blightsteel and stuff like that. Draw 7s. There's a Copter that I can get rid of for good. Probably do that. Copter looks a bit annoying. Yeah, let's basically Mana Leak the Copter. Ooh, Teferi. I think Teferi's better. Teferi lets me do some more naughty things here. Like hold up a lot here. Hold up Shelldock Mana Leak, hold up Subtlety. Draw Hull Breacher. Pretty nice. I'm not gonna attack for 1 here. I feel like I can win this game. By just playing a bit of control here. I do have to think about how I actually win the game. I do have Tinker Blightsteel in there somewhere, so that is a possibility. Let's see. Gut. Gotta love that card. So good. I think that card is okay. So let's play Hull Breacher. Let's untap. Draw Narset. That's pretty strong. Draw. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that means if I play Portal, I will untap and have only 3 mana. So that's not gonna do it. Let's play Narset. -2. Here's a wheel. So I basically get rid of my opponent's stuff. Draw 7 new cards. Is that good? Is that good? Yeah, I would think so. Red, colorless, colorless. Wheel of Fortune. Opponent's hand is gone. I can build a light steel. Oh, wrong tapping here. Blue, Tinker, light steel. And I mean, I guess I can attack here. Should be fine. I'm gonna discard it. Oust and Mountain. Now I untap 2 lands. Sure. So let's see what the opponent can do here. Gut is a card that can win out of nowhere. That wasn't the case this time around. Okay, we're playing against Boros. Am I looking at Emperor Binding Plains package over maybe over something like Blightsteel and a couple of wheels? I can still have one card in what makes sense here. Maybe just Grayson Borrower. That card is reasonable. So now I win with Tinker Portal, or I win with countering some stuff, playing normal magic, card advantage to this, card advantage that. Okay. Okay. A little bit of adjustment here, getting the draw 7s out of there. Mainly because the opponent can just have a mere lightning bolt and get rid of Narset or Hull Breachers in a lot of spots. So let's try this. Maybe this Loran is actually good. Maybe it's better than Spellseeker. Let's try that swap. Loran killing, what did I see? Revoker, Spear. Spear probably getting sideboarded out. Copter. Maybe some other stuff. All right. Let's see if we can continue the onslaught here. Borrows on the draw should be tough on paper. But I do have some sick combat cards like the Balance, the Tinker, all of that jazz. So now I have to find a cheap artifact and I can kind of undo my opponent's development relatively quickly. Ooh, that card is so annoying. I love that card. So let's see if we can find the cheap artifact. That is not a cheap artifact. I already have green. I have plenty of lands, so let's get rid of that card. Sentinel getting in there. Figure of Destiny. No mana type bluff. Ooh. Thraben represents an artifact. So we can play Thraben, which is even somewhat annoying to have on the battlefield here when it comes to continuing the beatdown. Opponent makes a 4/4. I feel like I should jump block here and maybe just portal and get it over with. How does that work? If I portal now, my opponent draws an extra card. I get rid of some stuff. Maybe I can wait one turn. Let's see. This could come back to bite me for sure. I'm basically hoping my opponent develops just like one more creature. That would be pretty nice. Okay, so Lelia. Okay, so this could actually work out nicely for me if my opponent sends everything to the red zone. So my opponent flips with Lelia. They found Oust. I can flash in Hull Breacher and eat the Sentinel. Then I can take 7 and portal away my opponent's board, unless I draw it on my draw step, which would be pretty darn funny. So here's Oust, I guess. My opponent did not play a land yet, I forgot. But yeah, this works. So let's Tinker, Portal, kill off my opponent's stuff, play a land, and now my opponent has to kill the portal, or the game is soon to be over. Glimmer Lens does not kill the portal, so the game is soon to be over. So now what I can do is return Lelia. Attack. I hit a land. Perfect. And now what I can do is play 5th land. Play Teferi. Draw. This is filthy. Untap for Mana Leak. Or Brazen. Let's see what this is. This is Revoker. I'll allow it. And the opponent can name Teferi. I'll take the 2 damage here and bounce end of turn. Prioritize holding up Mana Leak. So bounce the Rebel, untap, animate, I guess. I don't know, maybe it's just Thraben. Yeah, let's just animate Thraben, that's fine. I get a clue. Attack with Lelia. Find a land, that's not half bad. Play land, play, I guess, Talisman, hold up Leak plus Sack Clue or Emperor, depending on what happens. Next turn, I can reanimate Figure of Destiny. I actually have quite a number of lands that can grow the figure. I'm holding up some counters here. Stern Scolding for cheap stuff, Mana Leak for expensive stuff. Yeah, this is the opponent's not gonna like this. Mana Leak the Fury, and that's game, because then I can reanimate it with Portal to Phyrexia. Oh, pretty smooth sailing here. Tinker Portal really doing the heavy lifting here. All right, that's 2-0 with a sweet blue-white deck with splashes. Let's see if we can keep winning. All right, round 3 here, playing blue-white control with splashes. Also, I want to remind you that we're playing 4 rounds. We're basically each playing in a team setting. We're playing 4 rounds to just get as many matches in as possible. This hand is really not strong, but I have all my colors. I can surveil a little bit. Let's hope I don't have to force early. I guess that's just how I want to say it. Benevolent Bodyguard is fine. Of course, the Plowshares was a good draw. This looks like a matchup where Tinker Portal is going to be insane. Also, the fact we just played against Burrows should make it so that, I mean, neither of those decks are insane if both are drafting White Red aggro. So yeah, let's see if that's theory holds true while I bin this island. So kind of the same thing. I hope I don't have to force, and I hope I can use Source to Plowshares to kill my opponent's next play. I guess the Bodyguard can complicate that. Oh, here's the Bat. Bat is actually incredibly annoying. Maybe I'm just gonna do like this and then play out the Thundering Falls again. Really not impressive. Yeah, the Bodyguard actually makes Swords to Plowshares a very mediocre card. Bat draw there. Let's see if we can have a good one. The problem about putting this away is that then I can't fetch it, but it's just how it is. I don't want to draw land. I can't even force. Have the Blightsteel. I've drawn too many lands. Yeah, this is not looking good. My opponent will have 3 mana before I have 2 mana. Of course, that was my decision. The days there. Okay. My deck is not the best at coming back. I guess the Tinker Portal is a good way to come back. Here's Collective Brutality. Just with the duress mode, taking either Plow or Force here. I would guess Plow, but then again, the Bodyguard is kind of laughing at Plow. Okay, yeah. The opponent takes Force of Will. Plays out Mother of Runes. There's a long way to Tinker Portal. Now there's shorter way to Tinker Portal. So let's see. Maybe I just fetch out Plains right away. Ah, there's a Surveil land left in the deck. Yeah, then I think it was a mistake to fetch there. Then I think I'm just supposed to play Island and play Talisman. Because that fetch Surveil actually represented one more look. So now my opponent has the perfect board against Spud Removal. But not against Portal to Phyrexia. Porcelain Legionnaire. And more stuff, I guess, since my opponent did not pay full retail for it. Interesting. Playing that card out as a sorcery. My opponent now has no more cards in hand, and I should have like a couple of draws here. It's really not impressive. Sheldock, there's the Tinker, unfortunately. Which means, yeah, I mean, how can I get to it before I'm dead? I don't think I can. Untap Mother of Runes means I can't even plow. I need to draw something that thins my deck. If only I had a Surveil land to put one more card in the yard. Or the fetch line to go get it. Now I'm going to start taking 6 a turn. If my opponent finds a land, I'm dead before I know it. With Virtue. Yeah, this is a beating. My opponent's opener here was very strong. The Bodyguard into the Bat, which really made this a tough game. Attacked for 6. Now I need something truly magical to kind of stem the bleeding. Spell Pierce is not it. Alright. Go to sideboarding. And I'm going to do the same sideboard plan as last time. So I bring out Island, draw 7, Sail. Bring in Binding Emperor Plains. I think that's going to be it. What did I do with the Lauren last time? I think it was Spellseeker, but this is fine. Okay, we try again. Actually, now I don't need red. I didn't think about that. But I should have thought about that. I guess these help with binding, so I'm going to use them anyway. But I don't need the red mana per se. It's pretty normal to have these, like, good quality up the mana curve, try and grind out the game with Teferi, Mana Leak this, Narset that, try and survive with Narset, and then get run over by Boros. That's pretty typical Vintage Cube experience. That's why aggro is very strong. When you look at the core of this deck is like made out of old cards basically, where the aggro cards just got better in general. I'm still trying to Mana Leak and counterspell, so it's kind of cool to think about sometimes, like how history kind of changed. I mean, the blue cards are still good, so that means they were insane before, right? But it's just funny how maybe I should have this Brazen instead of Spellseeker. Yeah, it's just funny how Magic changes, and you're either ready for it or you're not ready for it. All right, we go first here, and okay, this could be. I could play this like super slow, looking to Stern Scolding turn 1 because I saw Mother of Runes and stuff like that. Then go fetch and hold up No More Lies. Then go tap land. Yeah, this is fine. I'll play this slow to try and get into the game and then kind of take it from there. Ocelot Pride. I have to read this card. So, first strike lifelink ascend. My opponent gets to 10 permanents. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, create a 1/1. So basically, if this attacks and connects, you get a 1/1. Card is too good. Card is way too strong. And now I'm ready to counter also a 2-drop. And then I can play Spellseeker Plow, maybe. Or maybe delay that decision. I will Mana Leak the Bat, or tell it No More Lies. No More Lies, buddy. I could keep up flexibility with Spellseeker. And develop maybe Shelldock. Is that good? Yeah, the thing is, I don't know if I want to get Pest Infestation. So that's why I think I should wait. Also, I can sculpt my game plan a little bit better if I know what's under the Shelldock. Lightsteel Colossus is under Shelldock. Okay. That's not a bad card to have there, because that card is exactly good when you can, like, flash it in, etc. Bronco, very good, so I need to plow that card. Yeah, so let's play Island. Spellseeker Plow, let's not get mana tight, I guess. Swords on the Bronco, pass. I now have a random body in play. Let's see what my opponent has to say about that. Here's Liliana the Veil, which is a good card against my deck, don't get me wrong, but having these value creatures really helps. Okay. I guess I'll discard a Headquarters. And I discard Samwise. Interesting. Here's Leyline Binding, so I could kill the Liliana, but I feel like I should try and grind it out, maybe. Let's think about that for a second. If I play this land out, I have 3 types. Then I can go Binding the Liliana. What happens if I just go... Yeah. I guess we can see what's on top of our deck first. Pest Infestation. That's like 4 1/1s. Probably a card I'm supposed to keep on top of my deck. Leyline Binding. Attack for 1. I draw Pest Infestation. If I'm lucky, I can kill something. I actually don't know what I'm going to do if my opponent does not develop an artifact. Then maybe I just go Thraben Cycle, see what happens. I'm wondering what's in my opponent's hand. Maybe it's just like a bunch of removal, and that's why my deck is like strong against removal. Because I just play irrelevant creatures. What if I do 4 1/1s here? I'll try with 4/1/1s. It's not amazing, but it's fine. It'll buy time. Hopefully, Blightsteel can do it to the opponent later. I'm trying to think. Oh, I'm getting interrupted here. Okay, that's sick. Even Interrupter is very strong against an X spell because now it doesn't do anything. So that was just like Mystic Snake, you know. I have a feeling my opponent would have played that card anyway, even if I played Thraben, but so it goes. I didn't think about that card. But it's a good reason to pass the turn with white aggro. Unexpectedly absent, then get rid of my last card in hand. Okay. So I draw... Wow, this is awesome. Okay. A little bit of madness going on here. That's cool. I draw Leyline Binding once more. Let's see. Cast without the mana cost. Yeah, that's a bad play. So I want to get rid of what? Liliana? Maybe I can't. Maybe I need to get rid of that card. Yeah, I don't think I can beat my opponent drawing 3 cards. Wow. Okay. That was a very strong sequence from the opponent. Here's Bodyguard. Here's dismember the last card, tick up Liliana. Portal to Phyrexia. That draw. Pass. And my opponent can ultimate Liliana soon. That's not good. Yeah, even Interrupter on my Pest Infestation was strong, but mainly it was just getting the Liliana back and finding good spots for it. I guess if I have the 1/1s, it's not a good spot for it, so yeah. Just a clinic. And I'm not even close to having 20 cards in deck, just like my opponent, so the opponent's easily gonna get Liliana Ultimate off here before. Mm. And this is why Liliana, like, historically was so good against control, was once it's in play, and you kind of make both players go down on resources, chances are you can just hit something awesome from the opponent's hand that they can't use. Now the opponent decides to play this, thankfully, into the mana leak. Let's see what the opponent does here with Liliana. Okay, makes sense. They want to keep it around. But let's see if we can find a way to punish this. I don't know what that is, aside from Teferi, though. Nice. Nice tinker. Portal is gone. Blightsteel's under Shelldock, and I don't have an artifact in play. This is the most useless tinker ever. That being said, if I had a talisman in play, I would have... I think I have to do like this. What did I do with the Leyline Binding? What's under the Leyline Binding? Oh, the Ravager. That's terrible for me. No, I wanted to click the other one. Huh? I have to look that back. I was sure I was clicking the other pile. Okay, I guess I'm just dead then. That was like my way to win. Drawing a blue source there, getting hit, lose my hand, and then kind of. But I guess I'm getting hit by the Ravager then. Okay, I guess I just couldn't win here. But I meant to keep the other pile. That was funny. So I'm at 5 here. All right, good games. We got destroyed by Liliana. Very strong card. And that puts me at 2-1 with 1 match left. Let's see if we can do it to the last opponent. All right, round 4, the final round here. My hand is looking decent. My opponent's on a mulligan. Let's see if the Stern Scolding can catch anything. If not, I guess we can pitch it to Force a Will, try and deplete our own hand, and cast a Draw 7 at some point. Let's see what we're up against. Being on the draw here is less than ideal. Especially when you have cards like Stern Scolding. Wow. Ancestral Recall. No, thank you. I will pitch the Stern Scolding here. Wonder if I should go Headquarters or Shell Doctrine 1. I guess even Proving Grounds is a consideration. Let's see what I draw. Pitch Bird to Chrome Mox and pass. Draw Talisman, which is a fine draw. I wonder what Bird to Chrome Mox, what does that mean? Just imagine I just kill that card with like Prismatic Ending or something else. That would be atrocious. Okay, so yeah, Cinema Library is a big issue. I'm just gonna play the Talisman here, and maybe I can get into some situation where my opponent overdraws on draw step, then I can cast Sail into the West on next draw step. I would have to get pretty lucky to set up that spot. Ooh, very strong here. Ancestral Recall, get forced. Just follow up with Sylvan Library. I have no pressure. Sylvan Library is kind of like Ancestral Recall. Ooh, yeah, very good draw from the opponent here, and unfortunately, the day is to kind of rub it in my face. So I guess now we let our opponent draw here with Sylvan, and then I try with Sail into the West. I mean, I would love my opponent to draw some extra cards here. So at least, so maybe the Sail into the West is one-sided. One card on top, another card on top. So yes, let's cast Sail into the West. No, that was bad. I should have. Yeah, that was bad. I should have done it on end step. I should let my opponent play out stuff here, then I do it on end step. Okay, I mean, if my opponent's gonna do this, I think I, then I think I like it. Because the opponent was most likely gonna draw into better stuff than this. But I'm obviously way behind still. Let's see, it's probably Embark. Yes. Embark and click yes. So basically, the decision my opponent had here with Chrome Mox is like discard spell versus something that destroys Chrome Mox. So depending on what they played against the previous rounds, they can make that decision. Drawing into Blightsteel. I feel like I need to draw Tinker. And that might not even do it. Here comes 6 damage and a copy of a cat token. Worth noting is I can go land, Pest Infestation, Chariot plus Library. And get 4 1/1s and hopefully stem the bleeding a little bit. I think that's the name of the game. There's Hull Breacher. Destroy, done. Get 4 1/1s, gain some life. Live to fight another day. Basically just hope my opponent drew into a terrible new 7. My life total is under pressure here, and one of my ways back into this game is play Teferi, untap for counterspell mana, protect the Teferi, so I might have to take damage here so I can protect my Walker next turn. In general, I'm just really, really under pressure here and most likely dead. It doesn't take much here, like Questing Beast, Oddity, those type of cards, and it's just over. Well, this doesn't look good. Alice Jailer. So if I can go to Fairy Hull Breacher on my next turn cycle for what it's worth. I'm probably just gonna take the damage here. How much is that? It's 9. Here's Fanatic of Ronus. Yeah, I'm just getting run over here. I don't have counterplay to this. Balance? Okay, okay. Okay, so what I have to do here is actually make sure I lose all of my creatures so I can balance. Should I draw it or a spell seeker? Yeah, balance is my way into this game. It's always good to, figure out how do I win this game. And once you kind of identify that, you can optimize your plays. What? So, funnily enough, the correct play for me here is to... Is that to take 3? Go to 10? Go to Fairy? Yeah, maybe. Okay. That's weird. Very weird my opponent did not attack there. So let's see. I'll try to Fairy. I have the Pierce. I have the Daze. I have the Force of Will. I don't have the Negation, though. Draw. Block, block, block. Nice plow. Okay. So untap island and plains. Pass. Let's see what the opponent's up to. I wonder why those cat tokens didn't get in there. Maybe it's some Gaius Cradle situation. I don't know. Also, this card, you need to be ferocious, have a 4-powered creature, so that card is not online just yet. It's just a normal mana creature that can come back with Eternalize, which is also very good, obviously. Here's Fractured Identity, which I'll just counter. I hope the rest of my opponent's hand is terrible. Like, that's my only way to win this game. I think I want to get to some kind of board state now where I get rid of all my tokens, but I make sure Teferi survives. Then I find balance. I even have a Surveil land. I can go for it before drawing with Teferi. Yeah, that card is very annoying. Because I feel like I have to plow something else. Okay, my opponent removes a blocker. Okay. Now let's see what's going on. The opponent's probably meant to attack with that creature. Looks like the opponent had to stop on beginning of combat and thought they were declaring attackers. Let's see what the opponent comes up with. So what's going to happen here? If the opponent untaps that, sends everything at me. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. That card is tapped. What can the opponent do with the rest of the boys here? Okay. Attack to fairy, attack to fairy, attack to fairy. I have 2 blockers. So if I'm gonna send 2 more, I can plow my way out of it. Plow, block, block. Fairy takes 4. We get a few looks at that balance. My opponent draws a card, which not the end of the world. Balance, por favor. Not a balance. So let's go look for the balance. Draw the balance. Subtlety. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But I have some blocker stuff. Okay. We try and survive one more turn. This time I will lose to Teferi, though. Let's see how much life I can save here. I mean, it is somewhat reasonable to believe that my opponent will send a lot of guys on Teferi, because they don't have lethal, so they might as well make sure the Planeswalker dies. Which, you know, can be good for me if I manage to stabilize. Then I gained some life I wasn't supposed to gain, so to speak. But it's also a hard line to find for my opponent and go, like, try and predict how much interaction I have. Survival of the fittest. I will accept. Let's see if the opponent can go for something cool here. Like, discard a bad creature, go get some hasty boy. That would be sweet. What's the best one here? Questing Beast makes sense. So now I can put it on top with Subtlety, and all of a sudden have a good-sized blocker here. So Questing Beast goes to the top. Now the opponent will have to suicide attack some creatures in order to kill Teferi. It's very bad for... Oh, they just pass. And I get a treasure. I get to keep my Teferi. I don't know what's going on here. I don't feel like that was the best move, but who knows. There's Narset. I feel like I should just go for that one first. I have Wheel of Fortune in my deck, so I don't want to tap this Talisman. My opponent skipped through attack. I mean, that doesn't exactly help my opponent's case here. Let's see what the Narset can go fetch. Tinker? Tinker is not bad. That would be... So I think I still try and go into balance here. Okay, no balance. Play Talisman. Play Tinker. Get Portal. My opponent sacrifices 3 creatures. My opponent draws Questing Beast. And maybe there's a way. Just maybe. Play Breeding Pool. Do I want to become the Monarch, or is that just insane? Is it better to have a blocker? I could threaten to become the Monarch here, but I probably shouldn't. This is probably fine to pass. Untap 2 lands. It doesn't do a whole lot right now. What kind of cool things can I do with the portal? Not really anything here. I have 0 creatures in the yard. My opponent has some somewhat boring ones, and my opponent can even eternalize the Fanatic, so that's not even an option. I can take like Sylvan Carry at it. Jace is very bad as well. It flips into a Planeswalker on my opponent's side of the table. Time to draw balance. Have to block the beast. And maybe I can do something. Something good. Yeah, I feel like the opponent has to get in there. If they play too passive, like, who knows what can happen. Okay, so Questing Beast on me, and then a lot of guys on Teferi. So I have to go like that and like that, I think. Trump blocking here to preserve my Narset. Opponent draws a card, but they don't because of Narset. Now I can go this card and make Questing Beast a non-factor. I think that's good. And one of my cards, or how does it work? Okay, so Questing Beast is now a treasure. I draw a wheel. Pretty darn sick. So if I wheel, I discard the Blightsteel, and I have 5 cards left in my deck. Can I win with 5 cards left in my deck? That's the question. Hmm. 5 cards left in my deck, where one of them is Colossus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if I had turned my pest into a treasure, I could have... No, 12. Never mind. Hmm. Also, the Monarch is can play this game. I don't think I can win if I... Yeah, I have to do this. This is really bad. I could have chosen to take nothing, though. That would maybe have been better. Okay, so I guess attack with subtlety, become the Monarch. But I can't remember how I actually win this game. Probably to do with Blightsteel. Draw. There's balance, which is not really great anymore. Well, okay. If I trade a chump away my guys, maybe it is. I also have Narset, so the opponent's not drawing any cards. It's kind of cool. They spend resources on attacking it. So the opponent really wants to get rid of Narset here. I understand. I want to go like this, like this. I have 9 cards in my deck. Opponent draws an extra card. Questing Beast is back in business. So maybe this is where I do the same. Get the Questing Beast out of there. And am I supposed to turn my own subtlety into a treasure? My opponent can only keep 1 creature. Is that even good? And they keep that one. Hmm. No, I don't think so. I think this is fine. Draw Talisman. Play Talisman. Back for 3. I don't even know if I have time. Let's see. Opponent has 1 card in hand, so I might as well balance and discard these 2 instead of casting them. So balance. If I kill 2 of my opponent's creatures, choose a card in your hand. So I'm gonna... Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I should probably maybe get the Colossus in the deck. I think that's fine. We'll keep the Mana Leak. My opponent will keep 2 creatures. The 4/4 will get in. I draw a card. Could be the big bad Colossus. Opponent draws a card in response here. Seems reasonable. Oh, this game is complicated. It's one of the longer ones. It's also getting quite late for me, so sorry if the energy level is not at an absolute maximum, but yeah, it's really a great game. Like, super grindy. I feel like my opponent could have put me away a while ago, but that's how it is sometimes. Survival, the Sentinel away. I mean, I'm hoping my opponent goes for something huge that I can normalize. Thieving Skydiver. I draw Mana Leak. So what is the opponent looking to do with that card? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. So unfortunately, my opponent does not have enough mana to go steal my portal. However, if they just go for, let's say, steal Talisman, can I double Mana Leak it? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, this taps for 4 mana. Never mind. Oh, yeah. Okay. I actually get to do the cool thing here. The opponent had 4 mana out of this one, which I forgot about. Because it's obviously ferocious from itself. My opponent wants to put 11 mana into that card. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see. 4, 8, 9, 10. A lot of mana. So basically what I'm going to do here is no more lies. Now my opponent sacrifices Questing Beast to pay, which is kind of hilarious because then I can reanimate the Questing Beast and really go to town. Yeah, this didn't age well for the opponent. Mana Leak. Then I'll reanimate the Questing Beast and attack for 9. The opponent wanted to take my portal, which, I mean, would be a game-breaking play, so I can't blame them. Alright, that was game 1 against the Green Menace. So against the green deck with Fractured Identity, a lot of my stuff isn't really, you know, reliable. That's the word I was looking for, but should be decent. I kind of want the third path against the Chariot. That card is absurdly good. Maybe the 1/1 body from Spellseeker isn't that great. I could see making that swap, keeping the draw 7 stuff, kind of some broken things. Okay, let me try again. Up a game here against Ancestral Recall, Sylvan Library drawing a bunch of cards, Palace Jailer drawing a bunch of cards, but I kind of had stemmed the bleeding there with Narset, Hullbreacher, and then, yeah, small misclick from my opponent. That kind of helped me into the game. I needed to get through all of that, plus Tinker, plus Balance, plus double Mana Leak on the Skydiver on the crucial turn, so Pretty cool stuff. Okay, that hand is fine. Also note that Force of Will synergizes with Balance. Let's see if we can draw some artifacts. Like just a Talisman here. Force of Will, a good non-creature threat. That would go a long way. Temple Garden. Take the damage. Play the bird. Oh, okay. Play Avacyn's Pilgrim. That's fine. That's going to die to Balance at some point. Swords to Plowshares. I don't think I want to go for that when I have the Balance, but it's going to be very good after, hopefully. My opponent casts something like the Sylvan we saw last game. I instantly force it. Mox, yeah. That card is actually very strong against Balance, but it's not very good against Loran, so hopefully I can kind of change my plan a little bit here. It looks like my opponent's playing a good 4-drop out here. Palace Jailer. Yeah, I can't let that happen. So, bitch. Narset. I'm not gonna plow the Pilgrim. I feel like I can do better. Maybe that's not right, though. Maybe I need to do that. So, plow now, then Mana Leak, and then hopefully kill the box off. Wow, that was a bad draw. Okay. I'm basically trying to stall here by plowing the Pilgrim. Survival of the Fittest. I'll actually just Mana League that, because that can just be super nasty, like later on, and if I miss my land drop now... Yeah, this is not good. Let's see if the opponent can kind of keep it coming. Cameo. The opponent's had 1 card. Can we do it? Yeah, we could draw land. So now I feel like maybe third path, kill Chrome is okay. But yeah, Tameo is annoying because now there's no way I can get Lauren off the battlefield to make Balance also a Wrath of God. So that's kind of bad. And the opponent can just attack freely here and get clues. Only good thing is those clues I might not care too much about. Let's see if my opponent has any follow-up here. Okay, cracking the clue. That doesn't count as a follow-up. Here's another land. And still in the library. Still in the library, very, very strong here. My hand is just horrible. The draw 7 is not going to happen. Portal is not going to happen. Balance is bad. Ooh, terrible. Find my land here. Scolding. So how do I win this game? It's probably something to do with pairing an anti-draw effect with my draw 7, while also shutting down my opponent's Sylvan Library and clues in the process. This is actually a cool combo. Cameo with Sylvan Library. Because you actually draw the extra cards and then you kind of put them back afterwards, right? So what's it going to be? Ancestral Recall or Brainstorm? Looks like my opponent at least wants one more extra one additional card. So funnily enough, Balance is very bad with these 2 cards I have in play. Balance ideally just wants you to play Artifacts and Planeswalkers. Speaking of Planeswalkers, now my opponent has a Cameo. And I can't really attack it for any meaningful damage. Here's Sentinel of the Nameless City. So now maybe I can start some situation where I start jump blocking. Question is if I get both players to draw an extra card here. I guess I do. There's a Wheel of Fortune. I mean, only worst thing would be like drawing Blightsteel Colossus or something along those lines. Yeah, let's try and draw an extra card. Play Talisman, play land. Pass the turn, no Hull Breacher this time. I will jump block here. And try and, you know, deplete my board of creatures. It's very possible that I shouldn't have activated here because I wanted to block with that, then maybe make some bad attack next turn, or yeah, maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. I had some good stuff to hit off of the activation from Lauren, so maybe it's okay. This is not looking great. Here's Tamiyo ticking up. Fanatic enters the battlefield. I will happily block here. Also, of course, Lauren is a combo with having Narset and Full Breacher, so I probably should have main decked this card to begin with. I didn't give it enough thought. The fact that it was a combo. Here's Pest Infestation. Pest Infestation could take care of Sylvan Library and give myself 4 tokens. It's not really that good, right? So, what happens if I attack Tamiyo here? I'll just try. I mean, I have a vigilant creature, so I think it should be decent. Let's attack Tamiyo. I feel like my opponent is just gonna block here, but if they take it, I'm also fine about that. It's kind of a free attack. I have 5 lands. My opponent has 4 lands, so there's that. Let's balance. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, so I will lose an island. I kill my opponent's board of creatures at least. My opponent has to discard 1 card. And then the question becomes, what do I do from here? Kill Sylvan and play on? Maybe? So I can't really pressure Tamiyo, which is kind of sad. But I'm trying to set up a situation where I can draw Narset or Hullbreacher and win that way. Also, Tinker Blightsteel would be quite strong, most likely. I know my opponent has Fractured Identity in the deck. Okay, so my opponent passed the turn here. Let's see if it's all creatures. Yeah, so that doesn't work. I guess I just passed the turn. Funnily enough, my opponent with 19 cards in the deck, I'm already trying to think about how to wheel my opponent out of this game. Let's see. Endurance is annoying. My opponent's reshuffling their own graveyard, it looks like. Or putting it to the bottom, rather, so the decking situation has been avoided. Yeah, I'm terribly behind this game. Let's see what this does. Draw a card equal to the number of cards in your library, rounded up. All right, that'll do it. The opponent draws a million cards here, and I asked him for a restart because of time issues for round game 3. So yeah, see you in a bit. All right, game 3 here. I don't think I can keep this, despite having 2 surveillance. This is too much. Yeah, so I can keep this, bottom the Blightsteel, have Pierce up turn 1, Pierce up turn 2. So theoretically, my opponent could like curve Mana Dork into creature, and that would be bad, but I think that's what I have to live with. If I can get to 5 without being dead, I give myself a good chance to win. The fairy is quite awesome. And it's also been awesome to test a little bit of Vintage Cube. There are kind of strict rules about when we can like put out content, etc. So I haven't been recording all of my drafts, but yeah, I really enjoy playing these, and I hope you like to watch it as well. Keep in mind, this is not necessarily the all cards you've seen in this video aren't necessarily in the final version of the cube, so just keep that in mind. And make sure to actually read the article, check the deck list, etc. So as I finish that sentence, I'm getting attacked by Tamiyo here, which is annoying. That was kind of the fear that my opponent could get under here with a creature, but let's hope it's fine. Let's see if this is just a crew. Oh, okay. So even like Halfling is super annoying because potentially it can power out uncounterable stuff. Yeah. And we've seen Asika's Chariot, that's legendary. We've seen Questing Beast, so lots of stuff here can happen. Tamiyo is a really cool card. It's just so hard to evaluate, like, 0-3 flyer, attack for clues. How relevant is that going to be? How relevant is this Planeswalker side of this card? Yeah. Yeah, this has the Asika's Chariot written all over it, and that card will kind of crush me. I need to... Well, the best thing is if I pierce something here, then I play Teferi and I Mana Leak something. That would be awesome. Don't do it, bro. Don't do it. Yeah, here's the uncounterable. Too strong. Too strong. Okay. Our hand didn't exactly line up against Tamiyo Halfling into Legends. Are we really in balance mode now? Narset. Let's go to Fairy, draw a card. Pass. Untap 2 lands. Take a million. And then I'm kind of in Tinker Portal mode or balance. Something along those lines. Very, very tough situation. Here comes the crew. I don't have the plow this time. The plow here would be awesome. Also, my opponent just has these clues for a rainy day. Looks like my opponent will just back to Fairy for 5 here. I understand. Teferi's down. And then, yeah, it's just too late. My opponent just got under my stuff here, and Halfling provided uncounterable legend, so... Yeah, so funnily enough, if you, let's say you run out of cash, you can actually copy clue tokens. That's kind of cool. With Asika's Chariot. Let's see the follow-up. My opponent with the fetch. So it must be some double blue card. No, not a double blue card. Must be a double white card. Yeah, that works. Opponent flips a planeswalker. Balance. Balance off the top. No balance. So yeah, let's play that out. Put non-balance on the bottom, or on the in the graveyard rather. Let's see. Blue, blue. This one. Balance or bust. No balance. Here's a Wheel of Fortune I can't cast. Yeah, that'll do it. I got destroyed here. Pretty cool run of games here. I got to do some broken things, and then my opponent got to do some broken things. That's just what you want to be doing in Vintage Cube. Yeah, I really love my deck, and the game's played out in a fun way. And here, my opponent just showcased, how does the cards line up. Let's say this is a Birds of Paradise, then I'm fine. I mana leak this card. I play on. I play Teferi, stick Teferi, and probably I'm in a very, very good spot. But yeah, Magic has a lot of variance, and that's why we all love it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, in just a small look into the testing process. And yeah, enjoy when Vintage Cube is up on Magic Online. Thanks for watching.